Hey, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tacticalbassin. What we want to do today is talk to you a little bit about how to find fish in the wintertime. I think that's one of guys' biggest struggles. We get a lot of questions about it. Today we're out here on Clear Lake. Clear Lake is a natural lake, so that's what we're going to start with. You know, obviously your river systems, your reservoirs, they're all different. But today we'll talk about finding fish in the wintertime on these natural lakes. What we're going to do is drive you around on the lake a little bit, show you some different things. But basically there are three places that I'm going to start out looking for fish in the wintertime. Once your lake turns over, your warmest water is going to be down on the bottom, and that's important to understand. In the wintertime, the warm water is at the bottom of the lake, not at the top. So for the most part, your fish are going to go deep. The only time they'll really come back up is if it's a really warm afternoon, so they can move up into that sunny water and for a brief period get warmer water up high than down low. But day in and day out, they're going to be down deep in that warmest water. So the three places that I'm going to look, if you're in a featureless lake, see this upper end of Clear Lake is just a giant bowl. There's really nothing out here, just a giant mud flat. And when you're in a featureless lake like that, generally what you're going to have is your fish are going to pull offshore, and they're going to sit in, the way it was once described to me as hollows. So if you've got a big bay, they're going to sit right in the middle of the bay, the center of the hollow, that dead space out there, the deepest spot. You know, these bays out here don't have a lot of depth to them. There's really not a lot going on, so it may only be 10 to 15 feet out in the middle of that bay. Right in that deepest center area, they're going to go out there. It's featureless. They're just going to lay in the mud, but that's where they're going to spend their winter. So we'll go out there and search for those fish, and for that, a lot of the times we'll use side imaging. But if you don't have that, or especially if you're on a smaller waterway where you really don't need it, you just go out and you fish the middle of the coves, the middle of the bays. Your second area, you're going to be fishing rock, if you have it. Now obviously every lake doesn't have rock, but the bodies of water that we fish on, Clear Lake in particular, does have quite a bit of rock down in the south end of the lake. Those fish are going to get on that rock. That rock tends to, it tends to hold a little bit more heat, but also it's got just a lot more places to hide. So in the wintertime, it's going to hold a lot more of your bluegill, crappie, bait fish, all those different things. So in that situation, fishing that rock can be critical as well. Those are two of the three. We're going to fish our hollows up north. We're going to fish that deep rock, and then the third is that deep structure. Dock pilings, bridge pilings, anything that's collapsed in the water. You know, that man-made cover, that can be awesome as well, especially if it extends above water. You know, a piling that's completely submerged is not as good as a piling that's half in the water, half out of water. The reason why is the piling that's above water, or a stick or a rock or anything else that is above water, will heat up more quickly and transfer that heat. So up against that piece of cover is going to be warmer. So say you're in a place that has hundreds of docks, you're going to want to fish those deep pilings, but the ones that are above water rather than being completely submerged. So we're going to run around the lake here a little bit, take a look at some of this cover, and we'll see if we can find some fish on those three patterns. So right now what we're doing is we're checking some of these steeper rock banks, and you know, these fish move in and out just like on any lake. Today we're going back and forth, we're just not seeing fish, so it doesn't look like they're on the rock. We're gonna go check some of this other structure, go look at some docks, go look at some hollows, go look at that open water. We'll find some fish out here. So what we're doing right now, in order to eliminate water quickly, we don't take the time to go in and out of all of these docks. What we do is we idle right down the fronts of them out in deep water, because we found that a lot of our better fish are going to sit just off the last piling. So you can see these fish here. Basically, again, all we're doing is just running the fronts. Then once we see that there are fish in the area, then we're going to turn around and be more thorough, fish our way back through the docks. But again, your bigger fish, they're usually going to be on that last piling or two out at the end of the dock in the deepest water. So you can eliminate water really quickly rather than weaving in and out of the docks. Run right down the front, wait till you see a fish, and then turn around and fish that area. So what we're doing right now is this is a big rock pile, and the fish weren't up on the rock pile, so we wanted to see if we could find them. We knew they were here somewhere, so we backed out onto the mud flat, and sure enough, here's these two great big fish sitting out here off the edge of the rock. So again, one of these key areas focused on that deep rock structure, and there's your great big fish. Hopefully this information will really help you narrow down where your fish are. I know a lot of the time when you come out in the wintertime, you launch the boat, it can be really overwhelming. It's not like summer where it seems like everywhere you go there's fish. Those fish really do group up, they school up, and they're not everywhere. So fish those key areas. If you have a graph, that's excellent. That's going to help you identify them more quickly. But even if you don't, you know the right structures to target and spend your time on. Take this information, take it to your local lake. Hopefully you can catch some more fish. Good luck out there. What I want to talk to you guys about today is jig fishing in the wintertime. I'm going to break it down into two categories. You know, we all fish such different bodies of water. We'll break it down into one jig type